Hello?
Hello there.
Okay, I lost the PowerPoint presentation that I changed for the saying that it was going to be recorded.
Uh-huh.
So hold on, I need to recreate it. Okay.
Can you hear me, Jackie?
I can hear you, Mark. I can't see you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, Dan, are you there?
I don't see him on the list.
Okay. All right. Just. Okay.
Let
me fix this.
And Brian's here as well?
Well, Brian's just monitoring it so that we can.
Oh, you mentioned that.
Yeah, which is fine. I just. All right, let's see.
All good.
Yeah, we'll get through this. All right. Okay, let's try this again.
Ooh, look at this.
Did you find something or what? Did you have something?
Yeah, I'm seeing everything you're doing with opening up the PowerPoint and
Oh, good.
everything.
Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very fancy.
All right. Okay. So there's 3 attendees. So let's see, who's the attendee? All right. Alphabetically, staff. All right. There's Mark, Brian. Okay, so Dan's not on yet, but I know he's.
Yeah, he'll be on. He'll probably come on his phone, I'm gonna guess.
Okay.
Just want to let you both know I just sent you the link to your executive session. So when you're ready to move into that,
Okay.
You can close this session and then open up that new link that just went to your emails. And that's not been shared publicly.
All right. Thank you.
No problem. If you need anything, just yell. I'll be in the background.
Okay. All right. Well, we're waiting on Dan. I know he's going to call in. I just talked to him. So.
All
right. So I don't know if you heard me, Brian. I saved the PowerPoint presentation you gave me, but then I couldn't find it, so I had to no, it's saying it's a read only. Oh, so I can save as. All right, hold on. It was just, it's always something. Okay, let's try this again. All right. Well, that one's telling me that it's there. All right. All right. So this is everything. Oh, there's Dan. Hi, Dan.
Hey.
Been here since 11 and it just popped up and said the meeting was starting. So here we are.
All right. Everybody has. All right, there I am.
Okay, what do I do to get my purdy face?
Go to the top of the webinar viewer. You can see webcams. You just click that. And it's, yeah, and then we can all see each other if you want.
Yeah, it's listed as top. Share my webcam.
Yeah, share your webcam, and then you oh, there you are. Okay, so the only thing that, Brian, can you hear me? Maybe not. I don't know how to share this PowerPoint thing like they do at the selectman's office. Let's see.
It was just up.
It was, so I must, maybe if I pull it up. Dan, you have to read this before we start the meeting. So let's see if I can pull. pull it up.
We can see your desktop or,
Okay, great. Oh, okay, good. So,
at least I can.
okay, so maybe it's this one. All right. Can you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
I just see the
Okay.
heading.
Just the heading. All right. Well, sorry, because I didn't change the date completely. All right. 28th. Okay. There we go. All right. Okay. There we are. So how do I get, oh, I wonder if that's the screen. Save a picture to your desktop. No, that's not what I want to do. Presentator, control. Bear with me, guys. This is
Oh,
like,
no worries.
okay, so you can see my screen, so that works. I don't know how to get this on.
Wait a minute. I see some things on the side here. Let me click on these. If I go away, I'll come back.
Oh, okay.
I'm just seeing if it would allow me to change. On the left-hand side, I see this Board of Assessors meeting on top. I see a
Yes.
microphone. I see another document.
Maybe is it the dashboard? Do you see another document? Do you see the, and then if you scroll down, it's a PowerPoint presentation?
I'm not sure. I got, okay, it's being recorded. Let's see what this next thing is.
I'm just gonna pop out for a second due to the fact that my wife is vacuuming and my kids are acting crazy. So I'll be right back.
Okay. So Dan, we have to read this information this PowerPoint presentation. Can you see that?
Well, I'm looking, Jackie, down the left-hand side of my screen here. I see the Board of Assessors meeting. Then the next thing down is a microphone, says we're being recorded.
Yes, that's the one. So I just need you to read all of that as soon as Mark comes back.
Well, but I'm not finding it. I mean, I'm seeing it here, but it's tiny on the left-hand side.
Oh, can you expand the screen?
Well, I'm not sure. It won't move. I click on it. Here we go. No, this is.
No. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I can, sorry, I don't know how to
That's okay.
share this.
If we need to, I think it would be acceptable here if you read this thing, because I can't seem to find it. If you read it and we disagree on it, I think that would cover us.
Okay, all right. Let's see. All right, we'll wait for Mark to come back then and, oh, you're here. Okay. All right. So if you're okay, I'm just going to read this into it so that people know. This is the Board of Assessors meeting Tuesday, April 28th, 2020 at 11:15 a.m. All participants are notified that this meeting is being recorded. For this meeting, the town is using a product called GoToWebinar. Attendees using the GoToWebinar app online or on a mobile device should be able to see the meeting presentation and ask questions when directed. Your audio has been muted. Attendees participating by phone are muted and are in listen mode only. And then there's just directions how to do that. Please use patience when submitting a question. And there's the agenda. So I think that oh, go ahead.
We see the people that are here. It's us three and Brian in the background.
All right, good. Okay, and I know that you have your agendas. And I did send, well, yeah, so.
My screen just changed and the agenda went away. I think I have your desktop maybe on here.
Oh,
Yeah.
you do, but
Okay.
I closed that. So, but you have the paper agenda, right? Because I emailed that to you yesterday. The
You
whole
did.
packet?
I'm trying to find it because we had those emails this morning. Usually it just attaches to, I assume you just, the stuff this morning was attached to that, or no? Was that a separate thread?
That was a separate thread. That's the one for executive session. It's okay. I can send it to you again.
That'd be great.
Okay, just
And
bear with me.
Yeah. as I had a difficult time trying to print the stuff out that was in with 37 pages of things, and I couldn't get only a few, like the executive session
Well-
thing. You just get a page or two to print.
I think I can show it to you, but I don't know how.
That's okay. We did see all of the motor vehicle abatements.
Right.
Mhm.
Well, let me send it to you, Mark,
Mhm.
and then, all right, here we go.
Of course, if I bring it up, I won't be able to see this.
Okay.
And Jackie, you had the agenda up there earlier, and I think that would serve if you don't mind doing that.
No, I can, but I need you to get all the paperwork stuff. So hold on just a minute. I gotta, there we go. All right, that's in the way. Okay, so let me do this again. Bear with me.
No problem.
All right.
Dan, while Jackie is doing this, I'll let you know, and of course Jackie will hear too. I do have a meeting at 12 o'clock that was set after this meeting was posted, of course, for work. If we are unfinished with executive session, I mean, I could come back to it, but figured I'd let you guys know that.
Okay, if we can't finish what we need, we'll just adjourn to a certain, or recess to a certain time and do it again.
Okay.
That'll work.
Okay. Oh. Sorry, guys.
Okay, I'm just
Oh, it's all
pulling
right.
up on my phone. I think I can pull up the agenda
Oh, that's
and the backup stuff, I think.
Right, yeah, well, oh, here it is. Here we go. All right, I just sent it to you again.
All right.
okay.
I have the agenda and the 37 pages on my phone.
Okay, all right,
That's a good idea. I'll do that too.
okay, all right. If we have to do this again, I'll figure out how to get it on the screen. That's
There you
part
go.
I don't know. All right,
Okay.
all right.
So you want to do the executive session stuff first? Is that correct?
That's a separate.
Actually, if you could do the other stuff first, that's more pressing.
Okay.
I think
Right.
Brian said we have to have a separate,
You
we have to
do.
log out of this after, so.
Okay.
All right, so if you have the agenda,
Mhm.
I don't have the minutes. I was in two places that the minutes were at home and I was at work and it didn't happen. So there's my payroll sheets, and I left everything for you to sign in the office. So if you at some point this week want to just come in and sign it after we have this meeting, that would be great. Most everybody's there on Thursday. If you just want to come in and quickly go into our office and sign it and then leave.
Okay.
There's two bill schedules. One was for the remote log me in so that I could access Assess Pro. And that's for a full year. That was $349. And, and then the other one was a mileage sheet.
Is that $300 bill, that one, is that something we would normally do or no? Just because of the situation, pandemic?
Yeah, just because of the situation. Although I have to say it's been pretty handy having the computer here if I haven't been able to get into the office. So basically, I'm hooked up to the OneDrive, and Vadar's in the cloud now, but Assess Pro can't be because they don't have the capability. So I've been using the log me in to access Assess Pro and do everything that I need, even if I'm not in the building. And we had to pay for a year's subscription. So at the end of next year, we can decide if you feel it's worth it or not. It is handy, I have to say. If somebody calls me on an off day, I'm like, okay, you know, I could do that sort of thing. That does happen.
Absolutely.
I think it'd be appropriate if I just move to accept what was in the printed bill schedules and your timesheets.
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
My only question I had, you're working, it looks like 50 hours. Is that about right?
Yeah, it's 25 hours a week. Yep.
Oh,
So
okay,
50 hours total. Yep.
okay.
Yeah.
In favor, aye?
Yep, aye.
All right. And then the next thing are the, it's a motor vehicle denial for Sarah Maynard. She just didn't respond to our request for more information. So it was an incomplete. That was back in December. She has 3 months. So it's just it's a denial because she didn't provide the information required for the motor vehicle abatement.
So is
Okay.
that like a deemed denial?
You can vote it or deem it your choice. I think I might have made it I deemed it denied on March 17th.
I like that one better just because it's that's more like you didn't follow the procedures correctly as opposed to us voting it down.
Right.
So I would make a motion to have that deemed denied.
Second that. Any other discussion? Aye?
All right.
Okay.
Then the next bunch of them are motor vehicle abatements. And I don't know if can you see them with the packets that I sent you, or I can just read the names?
I saw them all.
I've got 'em.
Okay. So if you just want to make a motion to approve the abatements for the following people, then we can do it there's 3 motions because it's 3 different batches.
Are these public record things, or we typically don't do this in open session?
These are typical public. It's a motor vehicle abatement. There's no,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay,
We just don't usually do the name thing because they're there, but
okay.
So should we read the names for each motion? Is that what you're saying?
it would make it cleaner for this one because this is being recorded and then I have to transcribe it. So yeah.
Okay.
We don't vote on each name, we vote on each list of names.
Yes,
And
on the list
schedule.
of names. Yeah. I mean, you could say that you accept you approve the motor vehicle abatements for the month of March for the total of $770.90.
Okay, so moved.
Okay.
Second,
Second.
and do we need any further discussion? Do we need, during this format here, is there any reason we need to disclose these names, or
No,
they're available if people want to see them?
right, exactly. Yep.
So then I would also make a motion to accept these motor vehicle abatements for the month of April for $547.50.
Okay.
Okay, is this the one where Mark's wife is?
Oh, yes. Yeah, that one, hold on. Can you do the other one for $35 for 2019 first?
Sure. What month is that from? I saw the
That's from
$35.
April, but it was a different levy year, so it has to be separate form.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we accept the one for April, from 2019 for $35.
Yes. There, okay. Dan,
There's
you
my
said-
motion.
Yeah.
Second. And we're in favor of that, aye?
Aye.
And the next one, we're gonna have to invoke the rule of necessity because your wife has one on there.
Yep.
Just need to write down. Okay, we're invoking the rule of necessity because you have a conflict because your wife, Melanie Burnett, has a motor vehicle abatement application on there, and in order to have a quorum, you need to participate in this.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right,
Well, yeah.
so
And,
move, second.
I was just going to say, just for this record, that motor vehicle abatement is for $40.69.
Yeah.
More than the $12 we thought it was going to be.
Well, you only had it on the road for a couple of months.
I just $12. I didn't know what it would be. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so we had a motion, a second, and a vote on that?
Yeah.
Okay,
All right. So you're all set there. And
wait a minute, we had the motion, the second, the vote on to invoke the rule of necessity.
oh,
And
yes.
we have a motion, a
Okay.
second to vote on the abatements.
Yep. Sorry about that, Dan.
That's okay.
So Mark,
Okay,
did you
so
second? Okay, you second? All right.
yeah, I second the motion of necessity, or I second the motion for the abatements. I don't know where we're at.
Okay, so the record the vote on the motion of necessity. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and then we'll record the vote to accept the abatements. Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
All right. And okay, and then that leads on to the discussion about the IFB for the Northfield Mountain LLC for fiscal 2022. So I typed you up a little note. Can you see that on your phones?
I did.
Yes.
Okay. Do you want me to read it or no?
This is open session stuff, correct?
It is. IFB
Okay.
is open session. Yep.
Okay, so I don't know if anybody's watching, but if they are, it'd be good if you read it so they know what we're doing. That'd be fine.
Okay. All right.
Mark? We should still get you out of here before noon.
I don't believe that it shows us only the 4, but we'll do it right. So
Yeah,
I just wanted to let you know, so originally we thought we could protect the town of Irving by crafting and signing a memo of understanding with the town of Northfield, protecting the appraisal if the town of Northfield entered into a structured tax agreement. However, based on conversations with our lawyer, Ellen Hutchinson, and conversations with Andrea Lamas, who's the Northfield town administrator, who she's had with her town council, Copeland and Page, that's not going to be possible. The issue resides in the fact that we have to appraise the property as a whole, and there's no way to separate our value or Northfield's value without the whole report. We can't have 2 intended users without providing each other with the whole appraisal. It doesn't matter that Northfield is a percentage of the whole, it's just not going to work. And I did attach the email that Ellen had sent when I posed the question to her. We could go it alone like we did the last time, but that has its own set of problems. Mainly, we would be advertising at the same time as Northfield because we're both in the same revaluation year and they need to have an appraisal done because their structured tax agreement is no longer valid.
Can you clarify what
Go ahead.
reevaluation that we're both going to be in next?
Fiscal
2020.
2022. So that starts January 1st of 2021, which is next January. This coming.
When you say that. Yeah. And when was our last reeval of it?
Fiscal 2019. And at that time, they were still in a structured tax agreement with First Light. So now they're not.
And when was our scheduled next reevaluation before we changed to be on the same schedule as Northfield, Gill, Montague?
It would have been fiscal 2024.
Right, it was 5 years, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, thank you.
So as I said, there's a limited pool of qualified appraisers in the field. And there's 2 potential scenarios that would occur if we had to do the appraisal separately. We'd get the same appraiser. They'd be making money twice. They would give us 2 separate reports. but they'd be identical in content. And this would leave us vulnerable if the town of Northfield entered into a settlement and they gave Northfield Mountain LLC a copy of their appraisal, which is really our appraisal. So it's not protecting us if we go that route. We get different appraisers and they come up with different values. This makes us vulnerable because at the ATV, First Light could argue you had two appraisers, separate, different values, our value, it makes it very muddy. The other option, which is the one that both Brian and I endorse, is moving forward with the town of Northfield, sharing the costs equally and working together as partners. They want an appraisal of the property. They don't want a structured tax agreement with them. If they did, they would have already entered into one. So they want to move forward and do this together as equal partners.
How did we accomplish having the place appraised previously without having any such mutual agreement? And not having muddy waters.
What we had done historically was we had worked with, we've been appraising this facility for 20 years. So 5 or 6 appraisals. And we always took the lead and we were the intended user. And then we basically sold the appraisal to the town of Northfield and the town of Gill. We really can't do that. That's actually against USPAP, which is the Uniform Standards of Professional Appraising, and the DOR isn't going to allow it. They used to do it before. It was different people. Now there's new people. They're more up on USPAP, and they've basically come down and said that if you want to both see this appraisal, you'll need to both be the intended user.
Okay, so we're doing it differently, pretty much at the direction of DOR as they changed how they want things presented.
Yes.
Okay, well, that answers my question as to why. And it looks like there is no perfect option for Irving, but it seems to me like what you're suggesting is as good as we're going to get. What do you think, Mark?
Well, I have some, I guess, clarifying questions. When did we, it seems like it was like last year, maybe, year before, we requested that the DOR put us on the same reevaluation years?
Well, what we had hoped to do, Northfield and Irving have always been on the same revaluation year because we're neighboring communities. But what we did and what we were hoping to do was put Montague and Gill, we were hoping to all be on the same year because we were exploring the possibility of a 4-way appraisal to cut down the costs of hiring someone because it would be a bigger project. The appraisal would be for Cabot Station for Gill and Montague, and for us it would be Northfield Mountain. But in the end, that didn't work out for us just because it was a lot of logistic issues. Once we met with Montague and Gill and we really talked about it with Northfield, we realized in the end, it just wasn't going to work. No matter what we did, we couldn't really advertise jointly because we were really requesting 2 separate reports. But
okay,
we still felt that it was better for the 4 communities as a whole to value the facilities, which are kind of loosely tied together at the same valuation year. So for the future, who knows? We may go out and value them all together, but for right now, it's not going to work.
Okay, so us in Northfield, we were always on the same reevaluation year. That's really what I was getting at, since it's Northfield who we're really mainly dealing with here. And from my question earlier, we were originally going to be 2024 for the next reeval, but now it's 2022. Is that because DOR changed it so that we would have 3-year reevals instead of 5? I forget that.
Well, we had 3, then they changed it to 5. And basically we said, this year we only want to do 3. And then moving forward in year 3 and 4, we're going to have to figure out if we want to go out and have this done when it's not a revaluation year. The
exactly.
reality is you can't have a value on a facility like that go for 5 years. It just isn't.
Right, it
It
should
just
be
isn't gonna
annual.
make sense. And, you know, we have to do what's known as interim adjustments every year anyways. And once you go over the allowed threshold of the values, you have to do an interim adjustment anyways. So that in year 3 or year 4, we'd be doing the interim adjustment for the whole community, including the mountain project.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I've been pretty skeptical of this from the start. I think that's been clear. There's nothing more important to this town's fiscal, financial well-being than the valuation of this one property. It makes me nervous to be tied to another town and another board of assessors and an administrator who could potentially do a structured tax agreement. They are saying they won't do that now, but things could change. But I don't know. I don't see any way around this either. If we used to always give Northfield our appraisal before, but we can't do that anymore. I like the idea of being good neighbors and helping out. We're not in control of our most important asset for this town, and I worry about that. That's all. But I guess I don't see a way around it now.
Yeah. Mark, I share your skepticism about people change, ideas
Right.
change. I mean, it could be somebody unrelated has a difference of opinion. Fire department, police department, who knows? Somebody has a difference of opinion, a couple of people get a sour attitude somewhere along the line of any side, not accusing Northfield, anybody. People change.
Right.
So I have the same skeptical approach you do, but if the DOR is insisting we can't do it like we used to do it, this is making the best of a situation that I wish were better, it seems. And if we go this route, and it's not forever, doing it this time around, for example, if Northfield were to decide they are going to go for a structured tax agreement, I think we have ammunition to go back to DOR and say, look, we don't want to do this anymore. We're getting nailed here.
Right.
Because I agree with you. We need to get this right and protect the people of Irving. Be good neighbors if you can, but I wasn't elected to help Northfield. No, you, and I agree with you. I agree.
That's exactly.
So,
Yep.
So is there a motion to proceed with this joint appraisal approach that Jackie has spelled out?
Yes, I will make a motion to approve the joint appraisal.
I'd second that. Aye.
Aye.
I waited till you took a drink.
All right, so
Can
Northfield,
I ask, just
Yeah.
before we go on my screen, a little thing popped into the bottom right and it said, Jackie skipped something, had a question. Was that something you put up or that something somebody else popped in there and it went away? This little gray box that popped in says Skip Sansucci has a question about something. I don't know if somebody else is listening. If they are, ask it again.
well,
I didn't.
I didn't see it, Dan.
It came in, it stayed for about 2 seconds and went away.
Okay, hold on.
I wasn't touching anything.
No, let
Didn't
me
do it.
expand the box. This is, okay. Sharing webcam audio dashboard attendees. There's a question. No, I don't see any questions. So maybe somebody, I don't know. I don't see anything. It's not showing me anything at all.
No.
It does. So if you're fine with the Northfield, we'll move forward. Brian and I have been working with Andrea and Beth Walker over this. And so we'll move forward with that part for fiscal 2022. The other,
Okay.
the other one was one that I had sent you, Gil. I had offered the same deal to Gil to be good neighbors. Explaining to them that in order to make this work, we all had to be equal partners. which meant paying for the appraisal equally. They sent something back to me, the memo of understanding that I sent you a couple weeks ago to read separately. And I just need you to weigh in on that officially, how you feel about it.
I am good with not adding another town and another Board of Assessors and another town administrator into this mix, especially where we would have to negotiate who pays what price. We're just trying to be helpful, and it's more than we even need to deal with.
I agree. I see their point of view. If they're only a few percentages of value of the whole thing, you know, why should they pay a third or a quarter or whatever of the price?
It
I
would be
understand the point of view. But I'm with Mark. I don't think it's going to save us a whole lot of money to do it that way. And I'm not sure what they'll do. It's up to them, I guess. They can do what they want, but
And they're on different.
the more people with their fingers in the pie, the more likely things are to scramble up.
Yes.
Oh, Dan, I know what you saw. My email popped up, and yes, that's what it was. I was like, this is box, but it was the email. Okay. So is that a motion just to decline their,
Yes, I will make a motion to decline their offer.
I'll second.
I will type something up for you to sign at your next meeting.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
While we're on signing, I'm not sure I'll be able to get in there on Thursday. I don't know if you might be able to, Mark. We said the town hall is usually open and some things need to be signed. If you might be able to get in there to sign a couple things?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
and especially, you know, the motor vehicle abatements obviously need both of ours, but certainly Jackie's timesheets I could sign. That's kind of, you only need one signature there.
Okay.
Well, either that or I mean, the other option is I could drive around and hand them to you out the window all gloved up and you could sign them and put them back. But it's really up to you. Yeah.
It's just I don't know that I can get there on Thursday. And
Oh.
I don't know that it's open any other time.
Well, you have keys to get into the front door, right, Dan? Do you have
I
keys
do.
to get in?
I
So,
do.
and keys into our office?
I believe I do. I don't
And
want
that's where I left everything, was right there.
Okay, so we don't have to call up the hazmat people every time somebody goes in?
You just need to sign in that you came in and then they'll clean.
Okay,
And
But
then,
Thursday's a day when lots of folks are there, kind of
Yes,
trying to cut
yeah,
down.
yeah.
okay.
Okay.
so the last thing is the utility valuation for fiscal 2021, which is this year. So recently, the Department of Revenue made a change in how we value utilities, gas and electric. And basically what they said was no longer are we allowed to use the net book value. We now must use a blend between the net book value and the income approach. And so this year could have been a pass. Like they said, well, you can use the old number, but next year for fiscal 22, you're going to have to use the new approach. Karen Tonelli, she works in Montague, but she also works for the town of Peru. She sent out an email saying, look, small towns, Peru's going to do it this year. Would you like to join in on this to cut down the costs? So that was the proposal that I sent you from Skip Sansuzi. And so basically it would cost us $7,000 to have Mass Electric, Neon, and Eversource, and New England Power, the assets valued in the way that we're going to have to do it for the future.
So to clarify, this has nothing to do, this is my recollection, with First Light and the Mountain Project. These are other utilities in town, lines and poles, that kind of thing.
Lines, poles, it might be easements too. I need to clarify that. But definitely the way they've been reporting is underreporting. They've been doing it legally. There's nothing sketchy about it. It's just that they were
That's what
allowed to report net book value. Now, due to recent court cases, West Springfield, Agawam, Boston, the ATB has basically come down and said, you know what, net book value is an accounting method. That's not an appraising method. So therefore,
Right.
we're going to do it this way.
And that's what we used to get from the Mountain Project when I was on the Board of Assessors in the early mid 1990s. They
Yes.
just gave us the value and we said, oh, thank you. So I obviously an income approach is more accurate for a business. So I think it's great.
So this will be a blend. This kind of what we did
Blend.
with the solar.
Right.
Yep. For right now, unless that changes in the future. But I just need your approval to move forward with that.
I did notice that yet again, we are the highest valued one of the shared towns. There was one other town that was very close, but
Yes. Well, you know, we have a lot of assets in utilities. So yes, we were the biggest, yeah.
you're so helpful. But it is yeah, $7,000 is fine. Dan, do you have any other discussion? I was thinking of making a motion.
I think that'd be a great thing to do.
All right, I motion we accept this agreement to work together to get this valuation.
I'll second that. And we're in favor of that. Aye.
Aye.
All right. So that is it for your regular session. I know, Mark, it's getting very close for your other meeting. Do you want to pick up the executive session in an hour? Suspend this meeting? Don't adjourn, suspend it, and then pick it up in, what do you think, an hour or so?
Oh, it always goes an hour. Yeah. Could we even say like, Dan, and both of you, could you do 1:30?
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
I ought to be done.
Well, I'd move we recess this meeting until 1:30 and reconvene.
Reconvene. Thank you guys for that. I appreciate
1:30.
that.
Okay, and so Dan made the motion and Mark, you seconded it?
Now, Jackie, would you check with Brian and see how exactly do we come back to this? Does he have to set up a meeting for 1:30? Once we,
Well,
We are.
yeah, I'll see how we have to do that. Yes.
okay.
Okay. Since
Yep.
we have to, yeah, because we can't end this one and start the executive session one. We need to just recess this one. Then you're going to have to read into executive session. We'll have to log off, log on for executive session, and then you'll be done.
Okay.
Everybody, I'm gonna keep the meeting open for you so you all can log off, but then use this link to get back in.
Okay.
Separately in your email, there should be an invitation to that executive session. Just don't use that one yet.
Okay.
Right. Back into this one. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Right.
See you guys in about an hour and a half.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye. If we can figure out how to get out of this.
I think you just click the button and you're done.
Look at the X.
Bye.
Group webinar. Bye.
Bye. So I